Now, people ask me like who are my favorite shooters? Ooh, wow, that's a good one. I would say some of my favorite shooters. Of course, if I want to go back in the '80s, I have like Bob McAdoo. He was like the master of the mid-range. This is when Bob McAdoo played for the Buffalo Braves, and then he went over to the Lakers. Man, mid-range was just superb. Like, I've never seen a person who had the same up and down shot. It was just like, that shot was like just unblockable. Also, my other favorite master of the mid-range jump shot, his form wasn't all that good, but he's still one of my favorite shooters. And the reason why I like him is because he's a winner. He goes by the name of Sam Cassell, aka Sam I Am Cassell, from out of Baltimore. Two-time champion, played for the Rockets, out of Florida State, playing in that ACC. What I used to love about Sam was he would just take any shot, but the shot is a good shot. Like, he's just clutch, and he didn't really take a whole lot of threes. He actually took more threes as he got older, when he started playing for the Bucks, and then when he played for my he played for my Clippers, and he got us to the playoffs. That's what I love about Sam. Sam Cassell, for every team that he played on, I believe his team went to the playoffs because he took it there. He just actually has that IQ, and he has that shooter's mentality to actually make that clutch bucket and take that clutch shot when no one else would actually take that. One of my other favorite shooters, and I think he's a top shooter, one of the top shooters of all time, Larry Bird. Let me tell you a little something about Larry Legend. That was a bad man. Even my dad says, and shout out to my dad. Hopefully you're coming home on a safe trip home on the charter bus. When I asked Dad about Larry Bird one day, this is what he said, and I quote, "That's a bad white boy." Enough said. I mean, this is Dad. Dad is the guy who doesn't say a whole lot, but when he says things, you better listen. Definitely Larry Bird. I knew Larry Bird was a good shooter when there was this game where it was Dr. J and Larry Bird was just killing Doc. One of the biggest Dr. J fans here. Like, I'm not even a Sixers fan, but I love Dr. J. I mean, more on that later. But he was just killing him. And Larry Bird was a trash talker. And he told Doc, he said, "Look, man, you might as well just sit on the bench and go retire, because you're not doing anything out here." This is the only time I actually see Dr. J actually try to fight someone. One of my other favorite shooters, go down the line, Chris Mullin. Great shooter. Straight mechanic. Chris Mullin. Mitch Richmond's another one. Of course, I'm going to throw Ray Allen in there. Paul George. Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant's more of a scorer. He's not really a good shooter. Stephen Curry's a good shooter. Great shooter, actually. He's actually a bucket getter. Just like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's like a professional bucket getter. But with Kevin Durant, like with his form, as a tall player, like 6'10" and over, definitely good form. We know who else actually had a great form that comes to mind that I'm talking about, like taller players that can shoot. Dirk Nowitzki. His form was just excellent, and he had different contortions on how he used to get the ball off, like the leaners, the fadeaways, and also when he shoots straight up. I mean, you're not going to block that shot. I don't care if you're 6'10" and you're trying to jump up and get that shot, you're not going to get it because he has full extension when he shoots. I'm going to rewind and go back also to the 90s. Another great shooter, so underrated, the great Michael Jordan. Let me tell you something. This guy was just bad. I mean, and Michael Jordan, and I'm going to throw Kobe in that pile too. Kobe's more of a scorer, not like a great shooter, but he actually like works on his craft, so he actually goes into that, good shooter category. But with Mike Jordan, I mean, you actually have to sit there and just watch, or have the privilege of just going there, like to see him warm up, to go through his different spots on the floor. I mean, just to go through his routines and watch him like warm up, like in regards like to the baseline to baseline, or he goes from side to side, on the court, different angles like the elbows, the top of the key, right inside the top of the key, where it's more of a higher percentage shot. Just a joy to watch. Also, another good shooter, very underrated as well, Jeff Hornacek. Even when he played for the Sixers, even though people really didn't like him when he played for the Sixers, always a good shooter, great shooter, really. I mean, especially when he played with the Jazz, and they can also, and Karl Malone, John Stockton, and Jeff Hornacek, they used to do like the pick and pops. So sometimes Jeff Hornacek can actually run off the screen. He'll just be open while you see Karl Malone running towards the basket. John Stockton will kick it out to Hornacek and make it. And Hornacek was just a dead-eye shooter. Shout out to Jeff Hornacek, Iowa State represent.